All right, we're recording. I want to thank everybody for being on our Fit Ambition team call tonight. It is September 6th, and I am happy you guys are here, and I can't wait to hear from Nikki. I wanted to first kind of go through, we had a huge week last week with just volume producers and rank advancements, and I just want to give a shout out to the rank advancements last week. We had Nicole Marino, who went Emerald, Sherry Rudolph went Diamond, Jess Brommer went Ruby, and Selena Marshall went Emerald. So congratulations, you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I have to preface the meeting tonight of how I met Nikki. I have to do that because I just recently met her in person at Summit. But quick background, rewind, I should say, probably to June. And I was had purchased the 21-day fix, the Ultimate Reset. And they actually were back ordered. I was supposed to do the Ultimate Reset in June. And actually it worked out great because June would have been a mess for me. But I was like, okay, I'm going to search and see if other coaches have done it. If they're doing it right now. And so I put in the search engine coaches that are, doing videos and things like that. And I happened to hit when this girl named Nikki was going live. And she just started and she was doing a recap at the end of the day. And I kept watching every night her progress. And I was like, okay, she's making this look really easy and she's doing great. I can do this. Well, her results, and her husband did it with her, they were great results. Well, when we were in Summit, I actually saw her at the Success Club party. And so I had to run up to her and I was like, oh my gosh, you inspired me. I just finished the reset. I lost, 12 pounds on it. So we had a great conversation and her and her husband were just wonderful. But then I started to I had been watching more of her page and her story, and I loved her posts about overcoming fear and overcoming negativity. And then actually the fact that she was working full time. And she started, I'm assuming, right, you started coaching part-time as well, Nikki, on the side, and then it evolved. But what struck me was that she worked for the Department of Defense in Washington, D.C. So that kind of blew me away. Because when you hear that, you think, how could someone leave a job like that, So anyway, that's what struck me and how she's gotten over that. And her business is just blown up. It's been amazing. So I'm just so excited to introduce Nikki to our team tonight. So go ahead, Nikki, take it away.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure meeting you two when we were at Summit. John was like, oh my God, people know who you are. I was like, it's like uploading to YouTube will do that for you, love. But you were so nice. And I'm so glad because it's so funny, little anecdote on this one too. You watched me, but I don't think Sherry ever commented or anything. I never knew she was watching, and she watched me the whole dang time. So when you're posting and you're like, nobody's watching, nobody's paying attention, there are people out there that are watching you every single night. And I went live at 8:20 every night for 21 days and gave the recap of the day and answered the 5 same questions over and over. So people could follow that journey, but that's what I was like, hi. She's like, I watched your journey on the Ultimate Reset. And she's like, her name's Sherry. I was like, I don't remember Sherry. Did she comment or anything? And no, but she watched the whole time. So just remember that there's always people watching you, even if you don't know. And for us, it was an awesome encounter right before the Billy Idol concert down there in Summit. So I'm so glad you came and talked to me. All right, so a little bit about me. I like to try and give a little bit about me so you know a little. Sherry gave me an awesome introduction. So I'm a mom of 3. My kids are 6, 5, and 2. Last year, so I started as a challenger, right? Amazing. A lot of your coaches, they're challengers. That's why they came, right? In February of 2015, my husband and I were both from southwestern Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, go Steelers. And we were going home for Valentine's Day weekend. and we had 3 kids, right? They were 5, 4, and 8 months at the time. And my mother-in-law is a saint, and she was like, you guys can go out for the whole weekend and stay in the city of Pittsburgh, and I'll watch all 3 of your children. So since we live in Northern Virginia, we like couldn't hop on that like fast enough. We never got out, so we were like, we're gonna go. Like, let's go out. What are we gonna do? And we had a wonderful weekend. And on the way home, it was just kind of like one of those moments that, because we weren't surrounded and like constantly triaging the kids and stuff, we really had time to like appreciate how wonderful our lives were and just talk to each other for a while and talk about how wonderful our kids are. And on the drive back home, we're showing a lot of gratitude. We didn't even know what we were doing at the time, but we were just talking really like all the awesomeness that was our life, where before we thought it was just pure chaos. And I was like, you know what, John, I want to be around for a really long time. And I just, my husband's father passed away when he was in the Marine Corps. He got cancer, and I never had an opportunity to meet him. And it still, haunts my husband to this day. And, when we're around the kids, and he's like, I wish my dad would have met them. And I know not everything is controllable, but I'm going to give myself the best shot that I can give myself to live the longest life I can. And I tell my team this all the time, like, guys, I started and I do this because I don't want to die. That's why. And on that ride, I was like, well, we got to get it together. We need to get ourselves back in shape, right? And we both knew that's like where we had to start. Like, our bodies had just taken like a toll for the past 5 years, like, unstructured sleep and, just like finishing the kids' food because you didn't have time to make your own. And, just being a parent and thinking that meant you had to sacrifice your own well-being for the well-being of your kids. And I found out that just kind of leaves you unhealthy and negative and hostile. So don't do that. You do not have to be a martyr to love your children, okay? Don't do that. So in the car, and I'll give you guys this little tidbit too. I love when we have smaller like groups. This is actually like my favorite, so just wait because I legit make you guys talk. It's funner. So on the way back, I was like, okay, so we got to get together, right? Here's the thing. So I had been introduced to Beachbody probably 3 years prior to that. My cousin had done T25, and she had lost like 30-some pounds. And I saw her at Christmas, and I was just like, oh my God, it's incredible. And she didn't stay consistent. And in that split second that I had in my mind of who I was going to message to sign up, I thought of my neighbor. My neighbor is also a Beachbody coach. And she consistently posted to social media. And she was always out there and talking about it. And I would watch her go for runs, right? She was legit living it when I would take the kids over to her house for a play date because our kids are similar ages. I would see that she had Shakeology there out on the counter, right? Not tucked away somewhere. Oh, wait, chat, you can't hear me. Can everybody else hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs. Okay. I hope you get that resolved, love. Okay. Yeah, so I knew she was really living it, right? So in that brief moment, I went and hung my 6-star elite organization, what would become that 6-star elite organization, under my neighbor and not my cousin. So the power of consistency, guys, that was how quick, that was how fast. I wasn't coming into this thinking I'm going to build an organization and I'm going to build a business. I just wanted to lose the baby weight. But that's how fast that decision made, and that's how much it impacted the organization and the upline that I'm now a part of. So you don't think those like little posts every day, they absolutely matter. Like, that's how fast it can happen. So I ordered 2 challenge packs that day. I ordered one for John and one for me. We got the 21-day fix, the 21-day fix extreme. I was on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I ordered it. It was that fast. I never asked how much it cost. I didn't care. Like, I was in. So we ordered them, we got it, and I told my husband, I was like, just don't tell anyone that we're doing this, because I thought we got ripped off, right? I was like, just don't tell anybody. we'll do it, but just don't tell anyone. And about 2 weeks into the program, I was like down like 4 or 5 pounds. He was down like close to 10 pounds. It was like a miraculous like discovery. And I was like, we have to tell everybody about this. And I wasn't even like thinking of it in like this crazy idea of becoming a coach. I was like, we have to tell everybody this. Like, all these people at work think they don't have enough time, right? Because they're commuting an hour to and from work, and we work at least 8.5 hours a day and have kids, and they don't think they can do it. You can do this, right? If I can do this, and I couldn't even do things during the work week. Like, if we had to go to a store, it had to be on the weekend. But I could do this, so I was convinced. Immediately, like any excuse anyone wanted to give me, any objection, I was like, nope, just not going to hear it. Because I knew, because I lived it, right? So from there, I became a coach, and I just started to talk about what I was doing on social media, right? And I think my first post, I mean, it was a real whopper. It was like a picture of like the TV screen with like the 21-day fix on it or something. We all start somewhere. And I just started to like attract people that were around me. So a bunch of them came to me. I like to share this with people. All right, so I'm just looking at the clock. Okay, 9:12. So I'm a huge inviter. I invite people. I do it all the time. I think over the past year and a half, the smaller groups, so I'll give you guys more of like an intimate talk rather than like a PowerPoint presentation. I want to die doing those DOD all those years. So I think there's like 2 ways you can go about it. You can like invite your booty off, okay? And then like have a moderate social media presence, or you can share every single detail of what you are doing and be the product of the product. And when you do that and you do it as you, they come to you. So those are your choices. You can be a moderate poster, right? And invite people out the wazoo, or you go all in on you and you share what you're doing every single day. You're eating like 5 meals a day. Share all of them. You're working out once a day. Share it. The day that you have an off day, say it's an off day. This is what I did in that gap of time that I normally would have been working out. It's like 5 posts, right? Talk about a transformation, right? Something about you that changed. That's 6. Like, I could keep going. You could post up to 10 times a day. When you do that, people get to know you and they'll come to you, okay? So you can either master being the person who shows being the product of the product, or you go moderate, and then you have to make up with it for it by like inviting out your booty. So that's your choice, okay? Those are just 2 paths. I've taken both of them. I like to think, I tell my team this all the time, like, so who out here now, this is where we get interactive. Do you guys know the GEMS? Do you guys do the GEMS test? The Gemstone personality test? Kind of? Okay, does anyone here know what they are? Okay, yeah, I'm like a solid emerald and then like ruby sapphire. So pearls, if you're out there, just understand that I just say things very blunt, but that's just my personality. It doesn't mean that I don't care, okay? I just say it like it is because I think it's wrong to beat around the bush with people. I'd rather just say it to you, and then now at least you know the truth, right? And you can move on. So that's how I roll. How many of you guys do PD every day? Every single day. Like, swear to God, every single day. Yeah. I see those hands going down, up and down. Everyone's like, oh shit, is she gonna call me out? How many books do you read a month? Show of numbers. 1 book a month, 2 books a month, 1, 2, 1, 1. I read 5 minimum. And I don't read because I can't read fast. I listen via Audible. Okay? I think the one thing in this business that's going to make or break you is PD. Period. Period. End of story. Because everything that you do is going to be a reflection of how confident you feel inside yourself. Okay? And if you don't feel 1,000,000% confident about the program because you didn't go in and do it 100%, you did it 65%, but you're just kind of hoping that you kind of fake your way through the rest of it, that's going to come through in every conversation that you have with someone. Have you ever had somebody ask you if they can do a program without Shakeology? Anyone? Yeah? All right, light up the chat. Tell me, what do you say when they say, hey, can I do this without?
I guess I say, you're going to get the best results with Shakeology, and that's what the rest of our challengers are going to use, and that's what I want you to use because you're going to get the best results with. I felt the best results with that.
Okay, I like that. Anyone else? What do you say?
I kind of say along the same lines that just like if you're looking for the I use best results as well. I'm like, you want to use them hand in hand. Obviously, nutrition is, to me, 90% of it all. And if you don't have that hand in hand, and even though you're working out, you may see some results, but it's not going to be long term.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Okay.
I usually ask if I brought it up, if they've tried it before, because, obviously everybody uses the excuse of the cost, but I'm like, well, you don't know until you try it. So I usually will offer up, a free sample, a free packet or whatever, just to get them to try it before they full on say no.
Okay. All right. I like. Anybody else? I just like to hear what everybody says. I think it's cool. I'll tell you what I say. I tell them they're not doing the program if they're not drinking Shakeology. Shakeology is the program, period. So if you're not drinking Shakeology, you're not doing the 21-day fix. And at the end of this, you can't say the 21-day fix didn't work. You didn't do the program. This is the program. The program is actually designed around Shakeology, right? People always say, like, I don't want to have cravings. Well, you don't want to have cravings. That means you drink the shake. If you don't like that answer, then that means you get to keep your cravings, right? So I tell people that. And then I say, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee on all of this. So are you going to come into this? I want you to come into this 100% with me. Because if we start cutting corners now, you'll cut the next corner at your meal plan. And then the next corner will be cut at your workout. And by me allowing you to come in already cutting corners, you will not have results at the end of this, and I will have failed you, and I can't do that. Because it means more to me that you get results, or that means more than you signing up, doing something that I already know you're not going to get the best result from. The result you see on TV, that's people who did Shakeology. So if you're not going to do the whole program, I can't guarantee you results. Moreover, as your coach, I don't even know how to track you because I don't know what your nutrition's like now. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not certified in that. I majored in politics and sociology and minored in international relations and history. I don't know diddly. Beachbody pays people millions of dollars to develop that stuff. I'm the person to keep you here and hold you accountable. And if my first action is to allow you to not be accountable, how am I doing you any type of service at all? Right?
Nikki, I just have a question.
Sure.
How did you get to that point of being so confident in saying that? Because honestly, it kind of freaks me out. Like I that's what I think. What you're saying is exactly what I think. But it's like I get in these conversations with people, and then all of a sudden I feel myself like tippy-toeing, or like, all of a sudden you want them to still be part of the challenge group. So, well, you can get the program by itself. It ends up kind of happening that way sometimes.
So I think, this is where we're going back to like PD. So I think that comes from a scarcity mindset, right? So you start to compromise what standards you'll hold in your group to bring someone in, because what if I lose them? That's scarcity. There's over like 20, what was it, Carl said, like 20 million people who are obese in the United States of America. There is no lack of people who need our help. And P.S., I wasn't obese. I just needed help getting off the rest of the weight. So like people like me aren't even part of that statistic, right? That's a scarcity mindset, and you can cure that but only through PD. I can talk like that because I believe that. It's my belief, and I don't care about losing someone. I don't care if someone walks away, because you know what? I was flat out honest with them. And if it's not the right time for them, they're going to walk away. But if it's not the right time for them and you adjust the standard to let them in, do you think it's going to become the right time for them while they're in your group? Or are they just going to be someone who comes in with that type of mindset? Do you think they're going to get results? No. And then they're going to say Beachbody didn't work. I'd rather they go away and then come back when they're ready. And I've said that, just come back to when you're ready. When you're ready to come in 100%, give me 21 days. 21 days. Give me 21 days. It will change your life. Then you come back to me. Right? And if people say, oh, money, sell 10 things on Craigslist for $14. Hold a yard sale. Like, bull. I'm sure you have like 14 things around your house you can sell for $10. Fundraise the money. Ask people around you, right? I want to save my life. Can you donate $10 to my cause? I guarantee your family and friends would do it, right? But you have to believe in the product that strongly. So what I would say is, if you're at that point where you can't be like, no, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Do this. Do something crazy to test yourself. Okay, so I'm like a person who kind of does things that are a little bit like off the beaten path, right? But everybody's on the beaten path. I don't want to be with everybody. So what I would do is I would say, go 2 weeks without drinking Shakeology. Tell me how your body feels. And then go 2 weeks. Every single day you must drink it. Tell me how your body feels, and then tell me if you can go back and talk to those challengers and say without a shadow of a doubt that they need to have Shakeology in their life to do the challenge. Make yourself feel that effect of the product so it's in your bones. You know they have to have it. And I'm telling you, if someone wants to cut Shakeology right from the beginning, they're not ready. And it's our job as coaches to assess that mindset, see if they're ready to go into it, or say, come back to me when you are. That's doing people more of a service. I've learned that over time. I didn't always do that. I would let people in, just a program, or they had it off of Amazon, blah, blah. Do you know what I found? They didn't get anywhere. And then they were like, but it didn't work. Well, yeah, you didn't drink Shakeology. And when I found myself having that conversation, I was like, oh man, Nikki, that's your fault. You didn't tell them why they had to do that, why it was required. It's my job to explain it to them, right? It's part of the program. The program is designed around it. It's so that you don't have cravings, right? You're on a different diet. You're going to be on a different eating plan. You're going to have cravings, right? We have to find a way around that. Like, I can't track you. When you know that and you believe that in your gut, you don't have any problem saying it, okay? And then I think so it's the scarcity mindset, some fear in there too, okay? You might offend someone. I'd rather offend you than set you up for failure, okay? That's just a balancing act. They can bring people in all day long and tell them it's going to be kittens and roses and it's not going to hurt and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to be the person who lied to them, right? So you get to that point where you're like, I'm just telling you how it is. Anyone in my life who I've ever had is like a teacher that I consider like a teacher. I respect the people who just told me the hard, brutal facts, even if I didn't want to hear them, more than the people who just told me what I wanted to hear. And you'll find the same. And you can tell your people that, like, I'm sorry, I just want to tell you the truth. I want everyone to come into this like 100% with me, and I want you to have results. That's my job as a coach. I can't do that if we cut corners right from the beginning. I got to explain to you why. People are saying like, oh, I don't need it, or I don't want it, or money. That means they don't understand the value. That's why you get the objection. They don't understand the value. You have to tell them what the value is, right? Ensure your nutrition. Why do you think that you're not so sore that second or third day, right? Because your body's rebuilding itself. If you don't have that in you, you're not going to be able to move. I mean, there's just so much that goes, it's the crux of the program. It's the heart. It's like you can have a fully operational body. If you don't have a heart, it's over, right? So this starts to affect, like, that's just like one area where it crops up, right? But all of that is a PD problem. Anytime one of my coaches has a problem, it's always a PD problem. It's just going to take me a couple of questions to figure out where and what we need to recommend for them to go and read about. So I always tell people that they're doing this. If they're not reading PD, I have no idea how they're coaching. I don't, because it's too hard to do what we do without mental armor. I have no idea. Those people that can do it without it, God bless them. I couldn't. I would crumble. And especially like the more and more that you grow and the longer you're around, the higher you get in rank, like the more haters you get, and they come from everywhere, right? They'll be old friends, they'll be family, they'll be coworkers. Like, you got to be equipped.
Didn't you just get a comment this week, Nikki? I saw posts.
Yeah, man. I had somebody, it was like an indirect thing too. She just posted like, I lost X pounds without Beachbody. I was like, why would you even like do it like without like, I just don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you have, like, I lost 15 pounds without going to Gold's Gym. Like, it's just, why taint it like that, right? Why just not just like be happy and celebrate your weight loss, right? It's such a wonderful accomplishment. So I talked about it, and I was like, she had an incredible accomplishment. I actually commented on her post, and I was like, you look fantastic. Great job, right? Like, why can't we all just support each other, even if we take different routes to the same place, right? And so she just didn't like that very much. And called me self-absorbed. So whatevs, people who lack confidence call people with confidence self-absorbed. That's something that I learned in PD. Like, people who talk about someone and say like, oh, she's so loud, that's somebody who thinks their voice is never heard. Like, every negative thing you say about someone is a reflection of a negative thing within you. If you hate someone, it's because there's something in them that is the same as you, and you hate that part of yourself, and you see it manifested in someone else. You got the only way to do this, to build a business, to build a company, is through personal development. The only way I broke through fear was personal development. And I had to learn how to do it, because I started trying to read books, and I would like read and I would end up staring at the wall because I'm just not a fast reader. And I tried Audible once, and then it was like game on. I listen to Audible anytime I'm doing something that doesn't require thought. Anytime in the shower, doing makeup, driving in my car, folding laundry, making dinner, picking up the house, vacuuming, anything that doesn't require thought, there's PD pumping in. And I go like the whole mess of books. So if I hear people talk about books, like hear the same ones, mentioned by a couple of people, I listen to them. I look at Audible's recommendations for me. I listen to them. I'm happy to give you guys like some of the ones that I think were truly, truly like revolutionary for me. But it's all about personal development. Like give me, here, this will be fun. So your biggest, where do you think, or what do you think is holding you back from being the coach you want to be? What's your greatest obstacle? Like, what has you stuck? Why are you stuck?
Videos.
Videos. Okay. Why videos?
Why videos?
Yeah.
Because I feel when I'm on a video myself, I mean, I've done a few of them, but I feel like I trip over my words and then I forget what I'm going to say. I feel like a deer in the headlight, I don't remember what I was going to say. I had all this stuff in my head. It goes great. And then when I try to sit there and put it on video, I'm like,
Right. So you trust yourself when you're alone, but you don't trust yourself when you're in front of the crowd.
Yes.
That's a PD problem.
Okay. And I'm listening to Gary Vee right now too. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's a PD problem, right? Like when you're alone and thoughts are like rolling, and then you get in front of an audience, you're like, oh my God, they're going to judge me. What am I going to say? When people start to say that, like, well, what I should say or what I'm going to say, like I already know they're off. There is no what should you say, it's what would Kimberly say. It's I say this, right? I say it this way. As soon as you start to cross over into how am I going to say you're becoming an advertiser, stop. You've lost yourself. And being able to recognize that moment, and that's why, because you know it's something that's going public, right? Mm-hmm. And instead of going just like flat out vulnerable and just saying it how you want to say it, we put off the polished product, right?
Yes.
That's how we are always taught to do it, from, papers that we did in school to our jobs to whatever we did. Like, you got to put out like the perfect in a box, throw that thinking out. It doesn't work here. And you guys know, like you've seen coaches post like that, the perfect in a box advertisement, and you scroll on by and you're like, oh man, poor girl just doesn't know herself, right? I hope she finds herself. Right? That, and you just, right there, you see, that's just fear. That's just fear. The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown would be the perfect book to read about that. That is one I recently read. I wish I would have read it earlier in my PD days, because it really helps with just like embracing who you truly are and letting that shine. But I'd also say too, like, man, if video isn't your game, like, go to what is. Go to what you like to do. Some people are like wonderful bloggers, right? And that's how they build their business. Like, go to the medium that makes you happy, because if you're forcing yourself to do a video just because videos, are getting more attention, blah, 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 that's not you. You don't like being there, right? And over time and through personal development, you might get more comfortable there. But if you're a person who likes to pour their heart out into words, like you've just taken yourself out of an element because someone told you to, and like you're already at odds with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. You got to gravitate to what you want to do. I would read or listen to Gary Vaynerchuk's Crush It.
That's what I'm listening to. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Like he talks about people who are like the worm guy, right? Like someone who just like digs talking about worms, right? Cool. There's always people out there that need to know about worms, and the guy who can't stop talking about it, that's the guy you're going to go to, right? No. People who have like knitting channels, they have millions of viewers, millions of subscribers because they freaking love knitting and they dye yarn at home. That is just their jam. That's what they do. Find your jam and jam it. Period. Whatever it is, go all in. And that's what Crush It is all about. And it's like one of his earlier books, I think it was like 2009 published. That's a really quick audio listen to Crush It. That's another one that's like great. Will tell you how to just embrace who you really are, and literally you'll crush it. And if we all did that, could you imagine if everybody in the world went out and went after that thing that they love to do at night after they clock in at their day job, and then they get to go read about what they really want to read about? If that became their profession, this world would just be a completely different place. But we just get so boxed in by society and thinking we have to do something. So I'm always really grateful for like the knitters with millions of like subscribers. Like, freaking good for you. You crushed it. Good for you. I'm glad, right? Like, they bring value. The first time I learned how to do a design a Facebook cover was somebody who was a knitter, and she was showing her knitting community how she made her covers. Had nothing to do with Beachbody, but there it was. Like, it was a sew. She was like a seamstress, and she did sewing. And I was just watching her video, right? She got a couple watches out of me as I learned how to use Facebook and create a cover photo. I actually have, I pulled it up for you guys, my PD list. So you guys are going to get the sneak on this one before my team even does, because we're creating a website right now. So I put up all of the books I have listened to. And then honestly, like, I would love, if you guys are okay with this, I would just like love to hear from you guys. Like I like to do Q&A. I think that's always funner than canned speeches and stuff like that. So I'll give you my list and then think about whatever questions that you have for me. Like an open book, I'll tell you how I did everything. So it can be about anything that you want, okay? All right, GoPro, Eric Worre. That's just like a must if you're gonna be in network marketing. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. That was the first book I read, and I actually read that book, and it only took me like 3 sittings, so that tells you how easy it is to read, okay? But that is like the beginning of everything. You have to read that. The Energy Bus by John Gordon is phenomenal. This is where you hear people talk about like energy vampires, like there's really negative Nellies out there who are just like always like, yeah. You learn to recognize them and get the hell away from them. Like they need to be off of your bus. Period. They need to be off of your bus, okay? We don't have time. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, Pearls Beware. He is from like Texas. He is a businessman, and like he has an accent and some language to him. He's very much like Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? So if you do not like that style, but the 10X Rule is in my Coach Basics training. It is the book I tell every one of my coaches to have, because the 10X Rule I apply not just in Beachbody, but in every single aspect of my life. And it's basically saying everything that you want in life, you're going to have to work 10 times harder than you think you're going to have to work in order to achieve it. And what you have to do is, right, so you're like, oh, I don't really like running businesses. Like, okay, well then 10X your invites, 10X your posting, 10X your live videos, 10X everything, and watch your results change. But what's cool about this book is it applies in other areas of your life too, right? So I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a better connection with my husband. I'm going to 10X how much I tell him I love him. I'm going to 10X how much I tell him, you know, how I value him. I'm going to 10X the compliments that I give him. I'm going to 10X how much I tell my kids I love them. I'm going to 10X how much I play with them. In every aspect of your life that you want to improve upon, if you take that principle to it, that 10X principle will improve. And I like them to have that so that they understand that and know that. And I love it because like even in our team page, you'll see them like talk to each other and someone will be like 10X it. Well, you got to go 10X that, right? It's just, it becomes like language to us almost. So listen to that. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, if you ever saw the movie with Julia Roberts. That book is amazing too. I'm a big believer in magic. I believe in basically everything. I believe in God, the universe, energy, magic, you name it. UFOs, aliens, ghosts, I believe in it, okay? I just do. My mind's open like to anything. Big Magic, I'll give you like one anecdote from this and you'll know if you want to listen to the book or not. She introduces an idea that, do you guys ever get hit with an idea somewhere weird? And you're like, oh, it'd be cool if I did, right? So she says that like, energy all around us, right? We're all energy and we're all part of the same energy grid, right? It's just like the first law of thermodynamics, like energy cannot be created nor destroyed. What is here and what is not, okay? She says ideas are also energy and they float around you. And the whole point of an idea is it wants to be like born, wants to be brought into creation. So you know how you get that idea sometimes and you're like, oh, I'll deal with that later. And then you forget it. Or you can't think about it. That was that idea asking you if you wanted to bring it into existence, and either you got distracted or you said no or something else, and it left you and it went to find someone else who would act upon it. This was a huge concept for me. It opened my mind to the fact that I think that there are ideas around me all the time, and I open my mind to it all the time. I'll sit there, I'll go to the grocery store and be like, I'm listening, universe. And you wouldn't believe how many times I take a wrong turn and end up in an aisle of something that I needed that I forgot. And I just believed that like I was meant to turn and there it was, right? It also helps when I do get those ideas, I know that they can leave me. So I must act on them immediately. I had the idea for a social media boot camp on a whim and posted it in my team page. I was like, I'm gonna do social media boot camp next week. I didn't have the whole thing planned out. I just had an idea of what I wanted to do. Posted it on the page. I was like, we start Monday. Here's a group if you want to join it. everyone in, we're going. That was it. I was like, I'll deal with the details later, but I knew I had to do it. And I knew if I didn't act on it, it would just be one more thing added to the list. So Big Magic is very much a book like that. So if you like things like that, you would love it. The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Girl Code by Kara Liba, L-E-Y-B-A. Amazing book, amazing book. Ask Gary Vee by Gary Vaynerchuk. I listened to that 2 or 3 times because Gary Vaynerchuk is amazing, and I was a total fangirl whenever he talked to us at Summit. I got to be in the second row, like I could barely hold myself back. The Go-Giver by Bob Berg and John David Mann. Crush it, Gary Vaynerchuk. Relentless by Tim Grover. This one I'm listening to again right now. That book is not for the faint of heart. I think that people who know that they need to listen to Relentless, listen to Relentless. But he was actually the trainer of Michael Jordan, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, a bunch of other superstars, and talks about them and their work ethic. I've never had so much respect for Kobe and Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan, right? Like, they are who they are for a reason. But it's an amazing book. That one punched me in the mouth a few times with, like, I need to get my butt in shape, and I think I'm pretty good at personal development, but that one rocked me to my core a couple of times. So do you take notes or jot things down? Yeah, I do. So here, I can show you. So I keep, right, my journal. I actually have this. It's an amazing journal, guys. If you don't have this, get this. The 5-minute journal. I think it's incredible. I'm going to do a video about it like tomorrow. Forget it. So you guys are getting the hop on that one too. So I write down things that rock me so much I want to write them down. Right? So, like, here's an excerpt. This is from Relentless. Guys, man, you're getting everything from me tonight. Here we go. I'm not going to tell you how to change. People don't change. I want you to trust who you already are and get to that zone where you can shut out all the noise, all the negativity and fear and distractions and lies and achieve whatever you want and whatever you do. In order to be truly unstoppable, you have to be truly who you are and make it work for you, not against you. In order to have what you really want, you must first be who you really are. Those are words from Relentless. Rocked me to my core. I was like, never again do I need to see what any other coach is doing. Ever. I don't follow anyone. I don't. I'll see it all pop up on my newsfeed and I'll like, but I don't look anymore. Because I know that what Melanie's doing, it's not working because of what she's saying. It's working because it's Melanie being Melanie. So even if I took her words, it wouldn't work for me because it's not me. And you just got to take that look in the mirror, right? And guys, I've even had this. I mean, I've had coaches like post a thing about like, oh, champagne on Friday. And like, call them and be like, you don't drink champagne, you drink beer. Stop being somebody else, right? Be like, just embrace it. There's people out there that drink beer and they need a leader, right? You're attracting the wrong people. Like, dang, you know what sucks? You know what really sucks is when you sit down in a room with an organization you built and you realize they are not your tribe because you weren't you when you posted. You were being your representative that you had out there on Facebook. There's people out there who are just like you, and you're missing out on them if you're not being yourself. And that came from that book. I love it. Here, I'll give you one more. Because this basically sums up everything that I'm saying here to you guys. Tell yourself what to do and stop waiting for others to lay it all out. You already know what to do. You're not on this call because you want to know what to do as a Beachbody coach. You know what to do. You just got to go do it. That's it. It's all in you. It's all in you. You already have the answer. You have it. Just go do it. Just be you. That's it. Crazy, isn't it? It's so easy, it's hard, because we're fearful. That's why you need this list. That's where I struggle. I worry about what people will think if I truly would post something. Yeah, no, go unfollow them. I don't care what you have to do. You need to get away from them and just go out and be you. You'll find so much more support if you're just out there and you, right? Don't you appreciate the coaches? Like, anyone see like Anita Martin? She just says what she thinks. So does Amy Silverman. I don't judge them. I appreciate them. Do you appreciate them for that? Do you know what I mean? And then I know you've seen coaches who post generic because they're fearful. Who do you appreciate more? Who do you connect with more? Right? The coach who just lays it out. Like, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to be you. Like, you're born that way for a reason. You're put on this earth for a reason. You know, like, the hardest thing in the world to actually achieve is to be a human being. You're not a dung beetle. You're human. And you're in America. Okay? You just hit, like, the freaking lottery. You're in the United States. And you're alive right now. Oh, good. Thanks, girl. I appreciate that. The land of opportunity. I mean, for real. And you're alive right now, not in the 1800s. None of this is by accident. You're put here for a purpose. Embrace that. And if someone wants to judge you because you want to just be yourself, that poor soul is not comfortable with who they are. Pray for them, bless them, release them. Because there's no one in this world that's going to be like, I know, she's just a terrible person. She's just out there trying to live her purpose. Right? Mm-mm. Anyone who's going to put you down, it's not your friend. They might have been in the past, but they're not anymore. Like, do you ever get upset when your friends want to do things, or do you want to just cheer them on? If they're not cheering for you, then you need to reevaluate the standard of friendship. Period. I have friends who do crazy stuff, but I don't care. Go for it. You want to hang glide? Cool. Right? Tell me all about it. Take some live video, right? I don't care if it's not what I think. That's what makes them happy. Let them do it. I have friends that are in other MLMs. Cool, go for it. I hope you, P.S., let me know if you need help with, like, lighting and stuff like that. If I were to, like, bring them down or just, like, criticize them for it, that's my problem. All right? That's my own insecurity. So understand that no matter what you hear back, it's just a reflection of them, right? They say, like, insecurity competes, confidence empowers. That was from a PD book. But it's the truth. You should write a PD book. Thank you. I love it. I honestly love it. When I was little, I've never told anyone this before, I wanted to be an FBI hostage negotiator. I wanted to be the person who was on the other end of the phone when there was somebody inside a building holding people hostage to try and talk them down. I wanted to be the one on the phone. I don't know why. I've never even told anyone that, guys. Like, you're the first people I've ever told that. And I ended up being a counterterrorism analyst. So, kind of close. Definitely darker world, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Sorry. Brene Brown, Brene Brown. She also has another book called Daring Greatly, which is also fantastic. Leadership, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. You got to start your morning off right. You got two choices the second your feet hit the floor. Life is never linear. You're either moving toward your goal or away from it. Every single decision you make, you never stay in the same spot. You either go down or up. So those first thoughts out of your head in the morning, right? So I do this now in this nifty journal. Before, I used to wake up and start going through that list of all the stuff I had to do and all the things I failed at the day before, right? Automatically. Now I wake up, my mind wants to go there, and I stop and I keep myself in bed, and I go through and I do three things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful I woke up. I'm grateful my husband is sleeping next to me in his bed, right? I'm grateful I'm in a bed. I'm grateful for these pajamas. I'm grateful for this awesome mattress top because it is soft and awesome. What a different way to start your day. And then I choose to get up and put my feet down on the floor instead of feelings that I'm pulled to get down on the floor because I didn't accomplish enough yesterday. It's in your head. This whole thing is in your head, okay? The only way you can chip away at it is constant feeding every single day. Every single day you get better, you get stronger, you just get armor up here and you start to become like impenetrable, you become unstoppable. That's it. The people that I think quit and walk away is because they couldn't conquer themselves. It's not because of what the world said or blah, blah, blah. You just couldn't get past yourself. You're the only person that stops you, especially in network marketing. No one decides when you're going to get a promotion, except for you. No one has to rubber stamp it. There's not one person that can get promoted that week or month. It's unlimited. Only you determine where you go. That's all you gotta beat. That's insane. There's no other job like that in the world, right? Normally very different. What did you do I was a counterterrorism analyst, so I watched Al-Qaeda for years. I ran the Department of Defense's Counterterrorism Watch Center too. It was fun. Kept me on my toes. Oh, thank you. It's one of my goals. I want to speak at Summit. Summit was my life changer. And then I took John this year and changed his life. I hope so. It's on the thing. I want to speak there and on a national wake-up call. Those are like my two big things. One day. I'm never going to quit, so they're going to have to deal with me. All right, a couple more in here. Good to Great by Jim Collins. Fantastic. Here's one. People can't drive you crazy if you don't give them the keys. If you worry about what people think, go read that one. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson is very much like The Compound Effect, but very good. I Am That Girl by Alexis Jones. That's very much a You Are a Badass type book. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And Failing Forward by John Maxwell. So I tell my team all the time, what this business feels like to succeed is failure. You will feel like you fail every single day until somebody taps you on the shoulder and they're like, congratulations, you succeeded. If you don't feel like you're failing, that means you're not doing anything new, you're not taking any chances, and you're not growing. And when you're not growing, that means you're dying, because life is never linear. So you just keep going. I've had challenge groups I have to shut down. I've had 3 groups that no one joined. I was like, it's free, right? So that means I have to learn. Those are all learning points. And guess what? When you do get the magic formula for like a crazy, crazy engagement challenge group, the next month it won't work. Like, that's how you earn this life. You got to be ready every single time. Every time I go out there, I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens, right? And if it like works, I'm like, oh, really? Interesting. I expect it not to. And I think a lot of times when people go in and they're like, well, I posted and it didn't work. Did you expect that it would work? The first time? Every time? That you wouldn't have to change? Do companies market the same way now than they did 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago? No. They're constantly growing. So you need to too. So it's always going to change, okay? But I think when you change and recalibrate that, it really just opens the door for, like, you don't need to fail, like, fear failure. Failure is what takes you to success. You're gonna fail your way straight to succeeding. And if you don't feel like you're failing, you're not moving. That's just how it is. So don't fear it. Don't worry about it. It's natural. it's like required. And I always know after like my biggest failures, I'm going to have my biggest successes. Like here, I'll tell you guys this one, and then I want to ask you, like, see if you have any questions. So like my life has not been like paved and easy, right? No, it was like, might seem like it is. I had 3 diamonds quit. Diamonds. Okay. Enough of them were in CBC 1 that I missed leadership by 1 star this year. I already had it on my calendar. So I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it, Nikki? I mean, I'm going to freaking trudge while everybody's gone. I'm going to work my ass off. That's what I'm going to do about it. Right? It's a huge failure. That one is like a knife in the heart. I look forward to that for since last year when I put it on my calendar. Last October, I missed it. Okay, so it could be like, oh, it's all over. The world's going to end, right? No. What am I going to use that for? What fuel am I going to use that for? How am I going to convert that negative energy into positive energy that's going to catapult me forward? And that's what I'm going to do with it. So you don't have to shut out all emotion. You just have to control your emotion, right? That's energy, right? The way you feel about everything is energy. If you can control how you feel about the energy, you get to convert it. So for me, it's just going to be fuel. It's not going to be devastating. It's going to be part of my story that I tell on stage at Summit. See how you guys went from frowns, from, oh, that sucks, to smiles. That's how easy it is to turn the knob. You just have to, gotta work on this every single day. And and you know too, coaches, if you're not doing it, your coach knows. Okay? Anyone on the downline, if your upline's not doing it, upline coaches, your downline knows. They know because they see you bring it or they see you not. Very apparent both ways. Door swings both ways. Okay? And never expect your coaches to do something that you're not doing. I talk about PD and my team page more than anything. I'm always in there. What's everyone reading for PD this month? Anyone have recommendations?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you talk to your team about it as far as like bringing it up? Do you present them with like books that just constantly suggest to them, or like what do you do for your team?
Yeah, so I'm very, even though I'm like very emerald structured personality, like I'm a feeler too. So like when like the spirit moves me, like, you know, so as I'm like listening to something, it's like really what I do a lot is like screenshot. So I like, they'll see so many screenshots, like a screenshot of an Audible book, and I'll post it in the team page and be like, I'm listening to this right now, and this is what I think you guys should do. Like, this is where it will help you. These are the aspects. If you're looking for a book that does this, this is what I'm listening to. I'll post in there, sometimes I'll even go and be like, so here's my 5 books I read this month. What did you guys read? And I'll just list them out. Or I'll go to my Audible library and just screenshot it and put it up in the group. Like, my team, they see what I do. Like, I believe that I have to prove to them. I have to show them. 5, because I thought 5 was manageable. I thought that if I read 5 books a month, that's 60 books a year, which is more than I've ever read in my entire life combined. So I felt like that would be a pretty good milestone. And I felt like it was achievable, especially because some of those books are like a 2.5-hour read. Like, get them in sometimes in like 2 days. Like 5, easy, right? If you find that right medium and like connect it, man, you're limitless. And I can't remember which book it was. It might have been The Millionaire Next Door. Millionaire Next Door said that like the average employee reads like less than one book a year, and the average millionaire reads over 60. That is not by coincidence. Like, your income and where you are in life is a direct reflection on the work that you've done on yourself. You are your greatest asset everywhere. And I tell my coaches like that I have coaches with full-time jobs and they never want to quit their full-time job, but they will be like a part-time, full-time coach on the side. Do you know what I mean? I've watched them get promoted at work and then them come back and be like, it was because of the PD. It was because the PD that I do for here that made me a better leader at work and got me the promotion I got passed up for last year. So I have no problem just like being in everyone's face about how important PD is, because it's not just insular to this, and it's not just like, oh, you know, you just want everyone to be better in Beachbody World. Like, no, I just think it's going to give you like results everywhere throughout your whole life. So yeah, I'm going to preach that all the time, you know, 100%. So I think and I would post in my team page before, like, here's like the 10 people I invited today to the challenge group, and I would tell them who they were. Like, these are the people I invited, right? And I'm just like a person who's like, lead from the front, right? Because if you're not going to, your team's never going to go where you won't. So if you don't go there, if they can't see you there, they're not going to go there either. So I'm just trying to be really transparent to them. I'll do live video on the team page, just talking about, you know, like, I was listening to this book and it said this. Or I'll like post a picture screenshot, right, of it. And then, yes, I do. I'll talk to you about that one too. I'll post a screenshot and I'll tag the coaches that I think need to read it, right? Thought of you, right? So they'll know. It's like a lot of drive-bys sometimes with me. But it's an idea, right? And I know that if I don't act on it, it's going to leave me. So I just do it and push it and get it out. Right? Done is done. Doesn't need to be perfect. So I'll do that, and I'll put things up all the time, like spelling errors and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. The idea is out. Let go of that perfectionism shit. You'll never get anything done. All right. Yeah, PD and the challenge groups. Yes, I do. I like to talk to people one-on-one and see if they will read a book while doing the group. I usually wait till after the first week to make sure that they are good with like their meal plan and stuff, because they're really overwhelmed sometimes that first week, and I don't want to put too much on them at once to be like, oh, and by the way, you need to read too, because they're still trying to figure out container systems, and they don't know what colors, and they're, you know, color coded Ziploc bags, because I was that, right? So around that second week, you know, how are you doing? How's the, you know, when I'm doing like weekly check-ins, like, how are you doing? Blah, blah, how do you feel? In those conversations, I always end up there. And I openly talk about PD all the time. Like, I'm full-time over on my like page now. And I talked today about how I read how we're like the concept, like, we're born bad and taught to be good, which is so the truth, right? Like, kids are probably like the best example of this. Like, kids are freaking relentless to the bone. Like, and that's why they survive, right? Because babies, when they're hungry, they cry, and they cry until their needs are met. Right? And as we grow older, around 2, right, parents are worried about being perceived as bad parents. Their kids do things that are out of line. So we say, sit still, don't run, don't push each other. You're going to get hurt, right? Don't do that. Be good. That means ignore your natural instinct. Conform to society, and it gets beaten out of us, right? It's like a lion. A lion, when it's out there, like in the wild, it's just being a lion, right? It like hunts, stalks, kills. It's just being a lion. It's just what it does. Put it in a cage in a zoo, and it lays around on its ass, and it waits for someone to feed it. It loses all of its natural instinct. Put it back out in the wild again, and it will go back to being a lion. Us, we're not in literal cages. We're in cages in terms of like self-esteem, confidence, the bullshit rules and regulations that exist, fear of being judged. That's your cage. And that's why you're just laying there. When you leave it and just embrace who you are, that's when you get back to natural instinct. That's why babies survive, right? I don't know, kids around here, my kids get a lot because they don't stop asking, right? And you get to a point where you're like, it's causing me more pain that you keep asking me. I'd rather just say yes, okay? Then you continue to ask me. But as an adult, we don't go back and ask like 2 or 3 or 4 times because we're worried about what someone's going to think about us. Kids don't care. Kids don't care. They have that mentality. They're like PD monsters and don't even know it. They don't care. They're just going to keep asking. That's what you want to do. Just trust your instincts, right? Just be you. Don't care. Huh? That's why they thrive, right? So, and then that bad gets associated with instinct. So just keep it in mind. I try and bear it in mind with not letting them like run the house too, but I don't want to beat that out of them. I want them to go on instinct.
Nikki, I have a quick question. When your list of books are amazing. So how do you figure out your next book?
So a lot of times I'll listen, I believe, so I'm a big believer in the universe. Okay. Also, if you have Netflix, there's a movie on it. It's called The Secret. It's also a book. That's probably like the number one. So many number ones. Everything is number one. You got to listen. It's all about the law of attraction. Like whatever you believe or think. Like if you think you're going to attract people who aren't going to go all in, guess who's coming to you? If you believe you're going to attract people who really want help, that's who you're going to attract. Whatever you think. Like, do you ever notice how like the certain people are always the ones that are having bad shit happen to them? Right? Like 1 week they lose their wallet, the next weekend like their car gets broken into, like, you know, 2 more weeks after, like their CDs got stolen. Like, do you ever notice that? The same energy comes to you that you give off. Like, and then did you ever notice the other people who always seem to win things? Anytime there's a raffle, they win. Anytime there's like a potluck or something, like a free drawing, they always win. And you know what they say too? I knew I was going to win. Every single time. I knew I was going to win. That's the signal they're sending to the universe. I'm going to win. And guess what the universe sends back? The winning ticket. That is all in The Secret. And I think that was probably one of the first things I listened to. Actually, I watched video on Netflix. And then I made my husband watch. That was a life changer. That was a life changer for me, understanding that. So I would definitely get in that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Did I answer your question?
No, I was just saying how, so you're basically saying that when you're reading something, the next book that might come about just happens.
Yeah. So I believe like the universe will like send you stuff, right? So I keep my ears open. So like The Go-Giver was one I kept hearing people talk about it, right? And I was like, oh, I got to read this book. I keep hearing it, right? And then like one of my coaches will be like, oh, I read The Go-Giver. I'm like, that's it. You know, the universe has tried to tell me enough times now to read that book. So I'm going to read it. Or I'll go on Audible and it'll be like, also suggested for you is this. And guaranteed there's always one of those 3 books I've heard of before or someone's mentioned to me before, and I believe that is just the universe trying to put it in front of my face. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm listening, right? Because I would like always keep my mind open to it. I'm listening, I'll go there, right? And I'll listen to it and I'll keep going. I have a whiteboard too next to me, and when I hear somebody mention another book, put it up there on the whiteboard, and like when it comes to me like so many different ways, then I truly believe it's a signal to go for it, and I'll just pick it up that way. I just trust my gut. Isn't that crazy? I trusted my gut, and that was the list that I went down, and this is just the place that it took me to. So just trust your gut. Like when it comes to PD, too, always remember this. So, and this is the thing, I wasn't very good at this in the beginning. I would just recommend books that I was reading. Always read whatever you need help with, right? Like, remember that. Like, and it was actually one of my coaches, my rock star coach. She's amazing. She's going to be a top coach one day, I know it. Putting that out there to the universe. She called me out on it because I was like, I cannot get out of this funk, right? And I look at her, she's an equal. She's just amazing. I was like, I can't get out of this funk. I was like, I have read more PD this month. I think that month I read like 7 or 8 books. And I was like, I can't get out of this. And I was really dragged down by those 3 diamonds that left. And I was like, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? I was reading everything I could about leadership. She called me out. She was like, she's like, you're a good leader. She's like, girl, you need to read about forgiveness. That's what you're carrying around. I was like, oh my God, you're right. And I did. I went out, and here's the crazy part. Want to know how I found that book? So she said that to me, and then a day later, I got in a car accident, got rear-ended, totaled my car, totaled my parents' car. I had to take my mom to urgent care. We had to wait there for like 6 hours. They called in a script for her for like Vicodin or something. They told us we didn't have to take the script, they would call it in. After we had left, they called us back and said, oh no, it's a controlled substance. You have to come back and get the script and then take it. And my mom was like, just go home. Let's just go home. And I was like, nope, we're committed. We've spent this many hours and going back to get it. Went back to get it, went to the first drugstore. They didn't have it. Who doesn't have Vicodin? It's CVS. What? It's what you do. It's what you do. So I was like, whatever. I'm not, at that point, my mom was like, no, really, I just want to go home. I drove past my house. I went to the second CVS that didn't have it. I was like, it's fine. There's a CVS up the road, 10 miles. It's a 24-hour CVS. They have a huge pharmacy. It's going to be there. On the way there, I saw a Walgreens. And, like I always say, mine's always open, right? I noticed Walgreens. I was like, universe. Went there. They had it. And let's see if I have it. Yeah. Went in. I was like, do you guys have this? Yeah. They were like, oh, yeah, and we'll fill it for you in 5 minutes. Not 30. 5 minutes. I was like, oh, okay. So we went and sat down in the waiting area. Boom. Look what was right on the book stand. That is what I'm talking about. That is big magic. Led me right to it. I just had to be committed, right? Kept going. And in this book, is very faith-based, I read this sentence. Like I said, I'm giving you guys everything. It was absolutely life-changing. When we forgive, we not only dismiss the debt we are owed, but we also trust God to handle the offender in His time and in His way as He sees fit. He assures us, it is mine to avenge. I will repay. And like that, let it go. Not up to me. Somebody else takes care of that. Like someone hurts you or does, it's not up for you to hurt them back, so you're even. You hand that off, give it to the higher power, be on your way. Weight lifted. That was all just like, all of this stuff I would have told you like a year and a half ago. I'd been like, batshit crazy. I'm not going to believe in any of that. As you go down that path, you understand, like, I truly believe like that the world is like on my side. It wants me to succeed. It wants me to do what I was put here to do. And it puts the things in my way that I need in order to get there. And when you open your mind to that and you're like, I'm here, I'm receiving, I'm listening, just tell me, you'll hear it. Like, it'll come like as a book, right? So when I see things like that, I'm like an impulse buyer. Like I saw this on the shelf and I grabbed it. I was like, I need to read that. I'm supposed to read that. And I knew it. So whatever you need to read about, make sure you're reading about that. Otherwise, it's just like wasted PD. Or if you're a great time manager, you don't need to eat that frog. Like, find out, like what I said, like, why are you stuck? If you need to know, like, what to read about in PD, ask yourself, why am I stuck? And you'll identify it. Like, I'm stuck because I don't like videos. Why don't I like videos? I don't like videos because, boom, there's your reason. Go find the book that matches it and then move on. Because, like I said, it's like a constant progression here. You'll never get to an end point, like, because you're always improving. So just keep asking yourself that. And probably I have you guys way too late. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like I could relate in this fact. When you start reading and you get to one of those aha moments and you start writing it down, like, and you have to take action. And then, so I'm reading a book, like right now I'm reading Girl Code, and every stinking sentence I want to write down and send to somebody, and then I don't get anything done. I never get to read it or do it or listen because I'm like, I move to take action right away, and then I never get through it. Do you have that problem ever? Or?
So I don't like I won't message people about, I've never done that, okay? But I don't think you should stop because that's you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's your gut. And whatever you're passing on, I truly believe you're supposed to be passing on to people. Like, maybe you're just meant to take a little longer because you're the person who's going to deliver that message to people. And you've probably been told this, or you definitely will be. When you told, like, someone will say to you, when you told me about X, Y, and Z, it changed my thinking, right? It changes people. So if that moves you enough that you want to message somebody about it and talk to them about it, tell them. Like, tell them. Like, talk to them. I like to target it too. I don't know. See, like, I think things just come to you. I don't like to tell people, like, this is how you should do it. I think you should follow your gut. Like, if you want to tell someone something, it's for a reason.
Right. And I get that. But, like, I feel like then I do, and all of a sudden I'm posting when I should be reading because I'm so moved, and I didn't even read a chapter because I read one paragraph.
But, like, here's the thing. Like, if you're, like, posting, you don't need to be reading anymore. Like, you're posting honest to God how you feel. You know how hard it is? Like, people, like, struggle people read a whole dang book, right? You don't have to sit there and, like, read the book or read a chapter or read it for 20 minutes. If you read for 2 minutes and find something that moves you enough, you want to deliver that message to the world, you are done. Move.
Awesome.
Right? Forget what that standard is of how long you should read. No. That end goal is to get to a point where it changes you and you can deliver that message out further, right? Like, it's one thing to learn it. It's another thing to understand it. The third thing is to teach it. If you got to that point, you have succeeded. It doesn't matter if it only took you 2 minutes. That's fantastic. That's actually fantastic. People would, like, love to have that gift. To do it. Do it. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. All right, is there anything else? I'm so sorry, guys. Tell me to stop talking.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you about your lighting. You mentioned lighting. Do you have a Diva light in front of you, or what do you have? Yeah, okay.
I do. I have a ring light. Here, I'll show you.
Ring light.
Oh. Yep.
Did you Amazon that? Or?
I got it. Woof. There's the difference. My husband is a photographer. God bless him. And let's see. This is it. It's called a halo ring light. I love it. Makes you look fabulous. A little bit bright, but, you know, you get used to it. Just look through it. Anything else I can remember? I hope I gave you guys some good stuff that's, like, very much just, like, candid me instead of here's my 5 points.
Well, this has been amazing. I think that everyone, I mean, look, it's like you said, it's already like 10:20. We've been on an hour and 20 minutes, and pretty much almost everyone's hanging on. So this has been I gotta go back and listen to this again, because there's so much great stuff. And I definitely will be passing it on and having my team, everybody else listening to it and stuff, and encouraging them. So does anybody have any other questions just before we end? I just want to make sure we don't miss anybody.
Sure. You're welcome.
Yeah. I do want to thank all you guys that came on tonight as well and staying up late with us. But Nikki, honestly, first of all, even your past life, I don't know how you did that job. I mean, especially in this day and age with everything that's going on, I give you credit that you definitely, I can understand how you needed a positive community.
So I was like, this place is amazing.
But this is like a plethora of information, and I'm so excited to dig deep in all these books. And we have to let Nikki know how it's changed our lives for her inspirational call tonight.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you get into one of those books and how well you like it. Or if you read a book and you think, oh, I should read it, God, message me and tell me that, right? That's the universe. Yeah. Deliver that message. Do it. It comes back in different ways. It's really cool. But just open your mind, guys. You have everything that you already have everything you need to be successful. Yeah, we hop on these calls and everything, but like, just do it. Just trust your gut. Forget all the other structures and everything else. Like, you know what to do. You already know. Go do it your way. That's how the most successful coaches became successful, because they just went and did it their own way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki. And I hope you have a wonderful night too. And thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.
Night.
Talk to you later, guys. Thanks so much.